Well, RuneScape has just been updated, and I think it changes my next plan. Originally, I was going to go jump myself right into Tombs of Damascus, but with Pole 79, they updated Bloodbark, and they made it considerably better than Mystics. It's better both offensively and defensively now, and I think it represents a good bridge between Mystics all the way up to Ancestral, because I really don't have any want to go to Barrows and get Arams, but Bloodbark can be a nice little holdover for my Tombs of Damascus, as it actually provides defensive bonuses instead of Mystics, which is literal paper. And the first thing I actually need to do to get this whole shade grind done is get some redwood logs, because the highest level shade requires redwood pyre logs. And if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do the highest tier log. So I finally got this 91 woodcutting that I've been maybe like 15 to 20k experience away from 91 woodcutting for 4 or 5 months. But I'll be able to stack up some logs. Maybe it'll take me like an hour to get. And then I can go ahead and start the whole shade grind. Ended up getting just about 140 logs. Yeah, fifth inventory. That should be enough because the drop rate is like 1 in 70. And I also have to like layer myself up to the highest key, so that should take a lot. But I'm hoping I don't have to come back for more redwood logs, though it is very AFK, so it's not the end of the world. So I got myself 100% sanctity here, and then I can start using the olive oil on the fire here, and every dose takes 0.9%, so with a 3 dose I'm taking 3.6% each time. And this should get the ball rolling, so to speak. And I think I'm going to start with getting 100 oil. And then from there, I can kind of figure out what I'm going to do next. It took me about half an hour to get 100 sacred oil, and I was doing this very not efficiently. So I think that if I was really trying it out, I could get like 250 to 300 sacred oil banked per hour. But these 100 should be enough to get Bloodbark based on drop rates, but you honestly never know with RNG on this game, and if I need more sacred oil, I know the method, and I can come back here and get it very quickly. Yeah, 101 sacred oil. Depending on the log use a certain number of doses. Redwoods always use 4, but if I use oak logs, that's only 2. And the higher tier shade you have, the higher tier log you need. So like the Urium shades, which are the highest tier, you need redwood logs. You like absolutely need redwood logs, otherwise it doesn't work. But the shades work on sort of a going through the process scale. I don't know what the best word to describe it is. But essentially you need to start with the lowest tier shade, then you get to the next tier shade, and then eventually you get to the highest tier shade. And it kind of snowballs forward. So we're starting with these lore remains, which you get from outside here in Morden, and we're looking for a bronze key. And unfortunately, we got the coin drop instead. You have about an 80% chance of getting a key and a 20% chance of not. So that's why I grabbed the second one. Now, once you have a bronze key, you can open up these wooden doors, and you're able to come into the shade area and kill these fringe shadows. They're just a slightly higher tier shade. And to get to the next area of the dungeon, you need to actually pick up a steel key. Again, I'm going to get 2 of these just in case I hit that coin drop table. But I should be able to pick up a steel key from the 2 of them. And if not, I guess I'm grabbing more oak logs. There, I got a steel key, and with the steel key, I can move on to the next tier. Now, the steel key is pretty useful in the fact that it opens up all the bronze doors and the steel doors. That's kind of how these work. So I can actually ditch this bronze key. I just need to find the red chest. Black Dagger poisoned and 97 coins. Yeah, we don't expect to get a lot out of these chests unless it's these rare drops. But once I get past this border here, I can now kill the Ryle Shadow Shades, and they're very similar to the other shades. And I got the black key, so I can move on to the next tier. You kind of get what I'm doing. I'm going to build myself all the way up from black. Then the next tier is silver, and then from silver all the way up to gold. My first collection log slot, the flame tier bag. I think it just allows you to store supplies like swamp paste, limestone bricks, and tinder beams in it, but otherwise it doesn't provide much use. I now have the gold key, and I've jumped my way through the ranks. And this gold key is probably never going to get used because you always want to keep one in the bank, so I don't need to go through this process again. But I have 3 silver keys that I got from the Fear Remains, which I'm going to go ahead and use. And also, you want to put on a Ring of Wealth while doing this if you care about Bloodbark, just because it ends up leading to a slightly better chance of getting the scrolls. And there is my first piece of fine cloth. I'm going to need a total of 7 of these in order to make the Bloodbark top and bottom. So I guess I'm 1/6 of the way on that front. Now the Urium shades are the highest level shades. They're 140 combat, and they give the best chance at everything. But in order to process them, you need redwood logs, which is why I did the whole getting the redwood log process. At this stage, I'll probably end up just camping out the shades, slowly banking them until I have as many remains as I do sacred oil in the bank. It's about 91 Urium remains, and I have, what is that, 46, 63, 72 keys to use, plus 1 I gotta keep. So hopefully we'll pick up this Bloodbark. Fine cloth number 3. I think we'll be fine on fine cloth. I think the bigger problem is going to be actually getting the scroll. Got my first piece of the Zealot outfit. I guess I can talk about this now, getting the Zealot boots. It gives a 1.25% chance, so 1 in 80 chance to prevent remains being used while training prayer. So like dragon bones, ashes. I think it works on ashes as well. Oh, I got it. Yo, that's actually so lucky. That's a 1 in 100 drop, and I got it after 20. Maybe 30 keys. That's great. And then the very next one, I get the Tree Wizard's Journal. That's crazy. So I can read this book and the Rune Scroll of Bloodbark. And you learn from the scroll, and now I can make Bloodbark armor. And then I can do the same thing on the scroll here, and read the Rune Scroll of Swampbark, and now I can make Swampbark armor. That was crazy getting them back to back like that, and a Zealot's boot, and 4 fine cloth. That's an insane 20 keys. And then I also picked up an Amulet of the Damned. This is the other item I wanted. I think stat bonus and use-wise, it's not that useful anymore, but it is part of a master stash unit, so that'll be very good to keep. No way, I got a second piece of the Zealot's outfit? That is crazy. This is like insane RNG. I did a little bit of this on leagues, and even with 3 times drop rates, I didn't even get close to this kind of luck. I also got the gold locks, which will be good for the coffin. And that is my 9th fine cloth, which is kind of like the last one I really care about. I've been lucky a lot of places, but I think like on a pure drop rate perspective, I think this may be the luckiest I've ever been. So I was able to combine the gold locks with the coffin, which is a cape slot item, and I can fill up to 28 of any shade. So if in the future I want to go for more on the collection log, like go get the rest of these locks or finish off the Zealot outfit, I can go ahead and do that. I think for now I'm going to take a pause on it because not too much of a collection logger right now. I'm kind of just a content completer, um, where it helps my account. I decided to only make the body and legs for now, and I'm going to keep the remainder of the fine cloth in the bank for clues in the future. I know there's 2 stash units that use the body, and I think 1 that use the legs. So if I were to make all of those, I would need another 11 fine cloth total. Um, so I will probably have to come back here, and I kept this 1 gold key in the event that I do actually have to eventually come back here. Now to actually infuse the split bark into blood bark, I think I just use it on the altar here. And it takes some blood runes and it's made into blood bark legs and a blood bark body. I was going to use the tooltips here to show the difference, but the fact of the matter is RuneLight hasn't been updated with the new stats yet, so I got a little confused there. But I'll put on my Mystics right now, and you can see from just the Mystics, I get 35 mage attack, 35 mage defense, and no other defensives. It's basically like I'm not wearing any armor at all if I'm being hit with melee or ranged. But if I put on the 2 pieces of Blood Bark, not only does my mage attack go up to 37, so that is a very, very minor increase, but it is an increase nonetheless. My mage defense goes up another 6 to 41, and then I get all these defensive bonuses. Stab of 86, slash of 70, crush of 102. My range defense is still 0 from this armor. I guess they're kind of having the whole you're still weak to range. But when I'm getting pummeled by Akka at Tombs of Damascus while maging, I'm getting this defensive bonus. And then also it has a set bonus where by wearing a piece of Bloodbark armor, the amount of health restored by blood spells, so this will be like Blood Barrage, Blood Blitz, all that, is increased by 2% for each piece being worn. So I have 2 pieces on, means it'll be 4%. Maybe the odd time I'll get 1 extra health, but I care more about the raw stats rather than the set effect on it. It has been quite a while since I last came to the Tombs of Damascus. Looking back at my death log, it was about 7 weeks ago, so almost 2 full months without doing any of these tombs runs, and I'm probably going to be a little bit rusty. Though things have changed since the last time I came here. I have a little bit of upgrades. First off, for my melee setup, I have 2 main upgrades. I got the Avernic Defender, and I got the Ferocious Gloves, so we'll probably see a max hit or 2 between those 2 items. Then on the mage front, I got the Bloodberg body and legs, which will give me a lot of defensive bonuses against Akko and Wardens. I also picked up the Armadillo chestplate and chain skirt, which will give me a little bit more accuracy and some more defense. I also have the fortified Masori mask, which will give me a little bit of extra damage. But I don't want to be too low on supplies for my very first run back here. I honestly don't know how it's going to go because I'm going to be very rusty. I basically took the same invocations I had on before, except for I turned off Walk the Path, just to give me a little bit of breathing room down to 315. But once I've done a couple de-rust ones and I'm not dying, I'll probably turn Hardcore on and Walk the Path on, and we'll be up to 375s. Okay, Akka, so much easier. Like, that was not a good kill. I got really unlucky on the swaps. A lot of melee hits, and I still was able to only use a single brew on Akka. I will take that. This is insanely better. It's good to be back in the chamber room here. Didn't get a purple, but I'm feeling better with my TOAs. I'm just really slow right now. Like, that was a 42-minute run with 37 minutes of it being like actively killing the bosses. Akka was 7 minutes, Baba was 4 minutes, and Zabak was 4 minutes. Like, those are all really slow. Even Warden's at 10 minutes. That should be closer to 9. So I should have knocked 4 off of that, but defensively, I feel like I'm doing really well, not taking a lot of damage, uh, and dealing a lot of damage. So I was just doing Zabak, and I got the Perfection of Krondis, which is a Grandmaster task. And what specifically does that? So I have to do Perfect Krondis and Perfect Zabak in a single run. A bit of a milestone here. Got myself up to 240 unidentified minerals, which means I am able to purchase the gloves. Need to figure out who to talk to. I think it's Bologna here. So she has both mining gloves and superior mining gloves. The mining gloves are 60 each. The superior mining gloves are 120 each. And then you can combine them together to get the best mining gloves. We're going to pay her 60 more minerals, and now we have the expert mining gloves. The expert mining gloves are pretty cool. They give a chance that whatever you're mining doesn't deplete depending on the rock. For silver, that gets up to 50%, and it goes down as the tiers increase. And for amethyst, it's 25%. That means 25% of the time that I get an amethyst crystal, I'm just going to keep mining and go until I get a second one. It's really good for work time AFK because sometimes I click the crystal and my character will just idle there for a minute or two while I'm answering an email. So I think this will probably lead to about like 20% more amethyst per hour just with how I do it. But now all the unidentified minerals I can put into, I guess, clay packs or gem packs. But I'll probably stock those up and keep them until I get to 99 mining here. The drop rate of the minerals is 1 in 20 from amethyst. So you can kind of roughly assume that I've mined 4,800 amethyst crystals so far, which is kind of crazy to think about, as I've basically already gone through all the arrow tips and the darts that I've made. So I think I'll probably be here all the way to 99 just so I have basically unlimited amethyst. Well, that's the first time I've gotten the 32-second Zabak. Means I did it tick perfectly. Oh, getting these duplicate threads suck, especially when I'm just waiting for this gem. Chilling and making some arrows. I've been doing some amethyst mining for about a week of work time now, so I'm able to restock on these arrows, and once you actually get to the arrow making process, the XP per hour actually rockets up, getting like 600k experience per hour right now. So, assuming I had more banked, I would be an hour off 93. 20,000 arrows total. That should last me quite a while. Hopefully a while. I actually don't know how many I use up per Toa. Maybe I'll test that out and come back and see how long 20,000 would last me. So I just completed a Toa up to 95 kills, and I looked at my arrow count, and I used a total of 47 arrows in the raid. So you can kind of roughly assume 37. I can't math. I used a total of 37 arrows in the raid, so you can roughly assume that 1,000 arrows would last 25-ish raids. So I have 500 raids worth of amethyst arrows here. I don't think I'm going to run out here anytime soon, but I'm going to eventually try to go for a white stack of them. Well, that was the raid from hell. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I had 3 doses of brew left, and I went through all my ambrosia here, which is very rare for me. Plus, it was 45 minutes long. Thankfully, didn't have the time invocation on. But I'm up to 375s now, which means I'm getting about 8% chance. And am I going to get something for lucky number 100? No. No, I will not. First off, I took 1,400 damage, which a normal raid, I'd take like 800, maybe up to 900. Not good. And you can see the boss timers, 6 minutes on the back. I honestly wasn't hitting. 6 minutes on Kefri. I messed up the trap on the range, and then hilarity ensued. Akka, perfectly fine, but Baba also a minute slower, and then Warden's 12 minutes. Like, I think in total here, that's like 5 minutes shorter than my average one just from the bosses. And then the pass, these are all pretty standard. So I went ahead and looked at the DPS calculators, and it turns out that even though the Masori mask gives +2 range strength, it doesn't actually give me a max hit once I'm salted. On Wardens, all it's giving me is a little bit of accuracy that equates to about like 1% more DPS. But while I'm unsalted, it does give 2 max hits from 65 to 67. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to swap over to going back to doing Baba first, and then I'm going to dump the mask and not bring it. I think in the future, once I get like the Masori legs or the Masori body, then it's going to be much better, and the two of them will compound together, and I'll get a lot of max hits. Invocation-wise, I'm not going to change anything. Well, that is a first to say the least. I did all 4 bosses, and I didn't use a single Brutos. I don't know, maybe I'm just hitting well. Everything's going well, but the monkey room first is paying off, I guess. Maybe I can drop to 3 brews and bring something else, maybe like another restore. But maybe that one was just a little lucky. Now, the real question becomes, do I get a purple first, or does my Blood Fury run out of charges first? I probably have another 24 raids in me with this Blood Fury, and I'm currently 28 raids dry. It's an alright drop. I'll always take Renar Seeds. 1,500 charges left on the Blood Fury. I think team, we're gonna run out of Blood Fury charges before we get a purple, is probably gonna win this one. Sweet, I didn't even notice them pop into my inventory, but I picked up 2 more blood shards. I had like 600 charges left, and I don't know. I just decided that I was gonna watch a movie and do some thieving, got 1,500 pickpockets. If you're willing to be active on an hours basis, pickpocketing is like multiple times better. On average, it takes like about 7 hours to hit drop rate with 99 thieving. And when you hit drop rate, you get 2 blood shards. While when you're killing the Firewatch Sentinel, it takes like 15 hours to hit drop rate, and you only get 1. So it's like 4 times worse. But it also is active versus AFK. So if I'm out of blood shards and I need to be active, I'll do some thieving. But I can just AFK these Vires during the workday. Alright, if I don't get a purple here, it will be that the Blood Fury didn't last until a purple, as I'm below 20,000 hits now, and it will also be 40 experts dry. So I am going to ceremoniously juice this one. I haven't done this in quite a while. So hopefully I can pick up a purple here. If I don't, I'm going to be very sad, because 40 experts dry is quite a long time, and it's not looking good. Oh, wait, no. Maybe it is looking good. It's a white light. As per usual, I am now 40 experts dry. At least I got Snapdragon Seeds. Got my fastest 375 yet, all the way down to 37 minutes and 43 seconds. See, every boss kind of pretty high speed. I think Sabac's kind of the only really slow one, if you would take quick times, but I like sub 3 Baba, sub 630 Akka, and sub 430 Kefri are usually what I go for quick. And then Wardens, 10 minutes is really good for me doing 3 down and all skull skips. The good news is that I now have a better chance of getting the yellow gem or the blue gem. The bad news is I got the red gem. This can be used to make the Kerosene Partisan of Production, which gives it a special attack. It takes 75% spec, so it's a lot of spec. It does extra damage, but it has a passive effect where the special hit's going to be 25% increased damage. So everything, including other people, deal 25% increased damage. So this is sometimes used in speedruns. It's been so long between Toa Purples that I actually got a full mining level at Amethyst. Okay, 53 dry. I got myself a purple. So let's go over the collection log here. Was it 53 dry? It was 54. This was my 54th kill. since my last purple. The last purple I got was the Masori Mask, and I want a 1 in 24 chance of getting a purple, 1 in 12, so 2 in 24 chance of getting either Masori Body or Masori Chaps. So my overall chance of getting something good is a 5 in 24, which is about a 1 in 5 chance. I'm hoping the game's going to reward me for being as dry as I was. But let's open the sarcophagus. If I get the shadow, this is going to absolutely revolutionize how I do Toa. And I'm thinking about it. I don't want to think about it too hard because it's going to be a dupe. And we got a duplicate Fang. Oh well, that is still 31 mil. Maybe I'll add it to the desk cover. Maybe I'll drop trade it. So I have some GP on my main iron, but for now, it's probably just going to go in the bank. All right, I got myself a purple here. Kill count 137, so pretty close to the Fang. Let's see what we're going to get. I'm ready for the duplicate Fang. Light Bearer. That is unfortunate, but bound to happen. So that is a total of 7 purples now. I got 4 unique still, but duplicate Fang and duplicate Light Bearer. I did kind of say like 20 kills ago that like once I get a dupe Light Bearer and dupe Fang, I'm basically back on drop rate. But I was really hoping to get something new there. There is 140 expert mode kills. I had planned on doing a lot more before I ended the video, but I went away to my parents' cottage for a week and a half, and that was going to be a week and a half of grinding Toa. So I guess we're just going to leave it off at 140. It's currently the Sunday before Desert Treasure, so I want to start preparing for Desert Treasure 2. Spend a couple days getting the potions ready, the herbs ready, the darts ready, and see what we get. But for our last kill here, I'm not gonna do it too crazy, but I'm gonna not look at it just yet. Just maybe the game will reward me now. It's only like a 1 in 13 chance, 1 in 12 chance, so never really expecting anything. Yeah, it's 20 Toad Flax I can farm, and 700 Soul Runes for the Shadow I've never done. But yeah, this episode was super nice. It's actually been the longest episode I think I've recorded yet. I started this one almost a month ago. I've just been doing a lot of Toa, not really playing as much, so this past month of gameplay has been condensed down into one video for y'all. And these next couple videos are going to be super rapid fire as we work through Desert Treasure 2. And the boss is there because I am super hyped of getting Virtus. I can bank this Blood Bark, and then I'm going to come back to Tombs of Damascus with it, and it's going to be so much easier. It's going to be so great. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. I spend hundreds of hours on every video. So I would appreciate all of the support you can give. But past that, have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.